Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D.
Brief.
This is the D brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's
arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D.
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Seth Ressler.
And I'm Becky Scarcello.
And joining us for one last time this week, we have Sadie Qualiotto of the website Hip in Detroit. This is a lifestyle website that just honestly keeps you in the loop of everything that's going on around the city. So
exactly what you guys are doing, but in a different format.
Well, thank you. That's true.
For people who
You guys
can't
are the
read.
hippest. You guys are the hippest.
Well, and we're newbies, and when it comes to your track record here of 8 years, how do you decide what to cover? Like, how do you?
You know what?
attack
People
that?
have asked me that a million times. It's whatever I want to cover because it's my website and I'm allowed to do that.
Hey, that's
So
how we do it on the debrief too.
I like that. It's like people will be like, you didn't cover this thing. Like, I don't cover really big events sometimes, big sports games and things. I don't know sports. Why would I cover that? There's people
Same.
that can do that, you know? So I stick to what I know.
Yeah.
I know food, I know music, I know theater, and I like those things.
And don't you feel now that there's more people sort of doing what we're doing in different formats and ways and stuff? Like, you don't want to be, you want to be unique. Like, you don't want to cover what exactly everybody else is covering.
And earlier this week, we talked about staying true to what you're good at and selling that. That's why I think people like our stuff. We just don't write about what we don't know.
Right. Good advice.
All right, Becky, let's end the week with another trivia question.
Okay, so I'm continuing the Orchestra Hall theme. So Orchestra Hall is 100 years old this symphony season. It was built in October of 1919. So it's well worth celebrating. Got stuff going on all year. It's also world renowned for its acoustics and how it was built. So we're really lucky because there was a couple times it was legit almost torn down. But that's the story here in Detroit with a lot of buildings, right? But didn't even have the money to tear it down. So thankfully, we still have it.
We had money to put fake windows on a bunch of buildings once during the Super Bowl.
Yes, we sure did.
That's my favorite story to tell people.
I was telling Seth
I just
that.
heard this story for the first time.
Yeah, no
Some of
idea.
them didn't come down for years. So there was just like you could see the board leaning up against the building. It
Peeling
was the best.
off. Yes.
The best.
So it is such a gift that we have Orchestra Hall 100 years later. So it was restored extensively in the 70s and 80s. And again in 2003, the expansion that we now know today is the Max M. and Marjorie S. Fisher Music Center. So there's a lot of extra stuff adjacent to Orchestra Hall. But it was vacant twice, from 1939 through 1941, and then again 1951 to 1989. Long time sitting there, nothing happening in it. And like I said, that's been the case with a lot of Detroit buildings. So I want to ask you, here's my question. Which of these buildings is older than Orchestra Hall, so built prior to 1919, but was actually never vacant? A, the Michigan Central Depot. B, the Grand Army of the Republic building. C, the Belle Isle Conservatory. And D, the Detroit Institute of Arts. So
That'd be B.
Wait. Go through these again.
it's got to be older than Orchestra Hall, but was never vacant.
Yes.
Michigan Central Depot.
Isn't Michigan Central Depot the train station?
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's been vacant
That's
for
been
so
vacant.
long.
Okay, so
You know the coolest thing about Michigan Central is that the graffiti is time-stamped to the last time people were allowed in it. It's very interesting if you ever get to check out the graffiti in there.
Really?
Yes, I got to do it for my birthday last year as a little surprise. Camera Jesus hooked it up.
When's the last
Joe
time
Gall.
you like? It's a bunch of
90s.
So it's like MC Hammer
Yeah, and
graffiti.
it's like the mayor, like screw the mayor at that time.
Oh,
and
yes.
it's really great. So it's
Okay,
not that.
So it's not that.
So not that.
What's B?
the Grand Army of the Republic, you know, the castle-looking building
So
across
it's
from
not
Beacon Park.
that. It's not that.
Okay.
Because we had David Carlton
Carlton.
on, and he reopened that.
Yes, it was
Okay.
vacant for many
So
years.
it's not that.
So darn it.
Belle Isle Conservatory or the Detroit Institute of Arts.
It's one of those. Is the Detroit Institute of Arts older than 100 years old, though?
I don't know, but also the conservatory has been vacant, right? I mean, the aquarium was shut down.
So, I mean, the DIA could not have been shut down at any point, I don't think.
But
But I don't know that it's older than 100 years.
I don't think it is.
So you think it's C?
Yeah, let's go with C.
All right. let's go with
Yes,
C.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Continuously
good.
operating, and it was built in 1904.
I knew that one was really early, but yeah,
Never vacant.
never vacant, really, because everything else really was vacant
And
at
Bella
some
at the
point.
casino. and,
Yeah.
a
The casino's my
boat
favorite.
club. Yep.
Sadie, Becky, how do you guys feel about ping pong?
Good.
Yeah.
I liked the movie Forrest Gump.
I've got no problem with it. My best ping pong story is that I got to play it at Paisley Park on Prince's ping pong table.
On Prince's ping pong table?
Yep.
Did you beat him?
In my head, yeah.
It was a purple table, right?
No, actually.
It was a regular green
regular
table? That seems wrong.
I know. And his paddle is now, behind glass. Like it was there, but no one can touch that.
So did he play a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
It's in with music studio. Yep.
Well, if you want to play, there is a new place that you can play that's courtesy of Pong Detroit. This is at Bert's Warehouse in Eastern Market. I didn't even realize this was there. I knew that Bert's was there, but I didn't realize that there was this back room.
Oh, it's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
They do a lot of cool stuff there.
The Dirty Show used to be there.
Yes, it was. I did a
Many years.
wedding photo shoot once that was awesome.
Proms, all kind of black and white parties.
Well, now they're doing ping pong there. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 5 to 11. You can go in, and the basic idea was that they wanted to set up a lot of tables where people could just have a beer and play ping pong. It's a big community
It's like
event.
the best basement
People
ever.
like that. People do that at pool halls. Why not a ping pong hall?
This is all put together by a guy named Mal Lang, and I had an opportunity to talk to him about the idea for a ping pong bar, and here's what he told me.
I used to play in table tennis tournaments throughout the state, and was pretty active in it, and then got away from it for a while, and then found a bar was having a tournament in Detroit with one table in a little room, and I went there, and there was a lot of really cool people, and everyone was having a good time eating and drinking and playing ping pong, and I thought, there's that idea I had, and I need to do this. So started looking for a space and started looking to try to do it, and while I was doing that, lo and behold, a place called Spin opened in New York that is owned by Oscar-winning actress Susan Sarandon, and her young boyfriend, or you might want to call him a boy toy, was doing a loft parties with ping pong, and it got so popular that he said, "Hey, Susan, you got a couple $1 million so we can open up a ping pong bar?" And she said, "Sure, honey." And they're in 12 cities now. So ping pong clubs are popular. There's an independent one in Portland. There's one in Denver, and we're trying to do it here in Detroit.
So who knew?
Okay.
Susan Sarandon into ping pong.
And has a boy toy, apparently.
I don't.
Because that's a thing.
I guess.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her, and she can open up ping pong clubs. But we're gonna have one here that's an independent. It's not part of the chain, so you can head over there for that. It turns out, as I was talking to Mal, I didn't know this, that Detroit actually has serious history with the sport of ping pong. He told me a little bit about it.
Detroit has a huge ping pong history, and if you go to our site, you'll see ping pong diplomacy going back to 1971 when the United States and China had no relations whatsoever. The Chinese invited some of our table tennis players over there to play, and that's their national sport. They're the best players in the world. So our players went there to play, and then their players came here, and Detroit was one of the cities they visited, and they actually played a match at Cobo Arena in front of 10,000 spectators. There used to be a club in the 60s and 70s at Cobo. The Detroit Table Tennis Club was pretty big back then. And we also used to have the United States Team Table Tennis Championships here in Detroit right around the late 80s and early 90s. 300 tables at Cobo Hall, teams from all over North America and some teams from, around the world would show up and play. So Detroit has a rich table tennis history. There's a lot of good players in Michigan, and it's always kind of been kind of a cult thing, but I think we're gonna help bring it out to the mainstream.
Don't knock it. Ping pong diplomacy. That's a real thing.
Ping pong diplomacy.
It is. Look, with this
Whatever bridges the gap.
with this coronavirus and this trade war, we're going to need some diplomacy
I
with
know,
China.
right? Yeah.
Ping pong is going to save the day.
Is it really coronavirus? That's how we're supposed to be saying it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I thought it just couldn't be that. I
It
don't
is.
know. Like, I thought I was
Yeah.
saying it wrong.
That's
Wow.
why Corona sales have gone down because people are
Come on.
dumb.
Support Corona. You just need a little lime in there.
Exactly. It's good for scurvy. I mean,
I'm sure it cures the virus.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, ping pong diplomacy's a real thing. It's a problem because the U.S. has actually dropped in where it ranks in ping pong in the world. We're not very good.
I'm not surprised.
I don't know anybody who plays ping pong
Well, that's
competitively.
the problem.
Like I know,
So we
we
need
played
the
in my parents' basement.
Future generations. We need some up and comers.
Absolutely, we do. And Mal and I talked about this, and we started because we were talking about where the U.S. ranks in ping pong worldwide.
Sadly, we're 24th. So right now we're the Detroit Lions of table tennis, and that's not good. So, and part of the reason we have the youth training program going is to hopefully develop some Olympic champions, and eventually we're gonna we have a relationship with the Chinese Table Tennis Federation. I was on a ping pong diplomacy mission in China several years ago, and we talked about bringing their ex-Olympian coaches here to work with our kids. And then some of the kids that we develop that get pretty good, we'll send them to China for a couple of weeks to hang out and see their culture. And then we'll bring some of the Chinese kids over here to visit our great city of Detroit.
I mean, you laugh when you hear a phrase like ping pong diplomacy mission because you've never been on one. But it actually does sound pretty cool the way it's like an exchange program with Chinese kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that brings people together, and he's clearly passionate about it. I'm all for that.
Oh, he's serious about
Yeah.
it. I did ask him if it makes a difference whether you call it ping pong or table tennis.
Oh yeah,
He was okay with either one.
either way.
Oh.
Interchangeable.
He swings both ways. It was fine. So
Ping pong. I mean, ping pong. You got to call it that.
Do you have to
You
pick
like
a
that?
hand? Like, do you either go with your right or your left hand with the paddle? Is there like a way you have to do it?
Well, I asked him what to watch for when you're watching somebody who's really good at this sport, and he says the first thing you'll notice is that they stand back from the table a couple of
Oh,
feet.
sure.
Because as soon as you see that, you're like, oh, that guy's
yes,
serious.
they can hit it hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So anyway, this is going on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays after work, 5 to 11 at Burt's Marketplace over there in Eastern Market. If you want to play ping pong, even if you've never played ping pong, this is one of those sports that even if you've never done it before,
You can show up.
pick up a paddle, play against Prince, whatever it is.
Well, you can't do that.
Well, that's
but-
true. You can't
But you
do
might be able to play
You can
against
do
Barrett
anything.
Deering, who owns Burt's. Like that would be fun.
That's almost as good
He's
as
got
playing
great
against Prince.
stories. He is, relationships with top musicians. So definitely.
And I'm sure Bert, they can play some Prince.
Oh, definitely.
For more details, you can go to pongdetroit.com. And if you want to hear my full interview with Mal, go to our mobile app. We've got the entire interview right there. We've got a lot of bonus interviews
You should
in that
just
mobile app.
download
So
the app anyways. It's
Yeah.
the easiest way to listen to the debrief.
go check it out. All right, Sadie, one last thing we got to do before we let you go.
All right.
We like to play a little game.
Okay.
We are going to ask you for a series of rapid fire recommendations. And all you have to do is tell us the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh boy. Okay. You're making me nervous.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Do you have a favorite place in the city of Detroit to shop for jewelry?
To shop for jewelry. Okay. So I always like to stop at the little, it's not Scout. Scout is in Royal Oak. Right across from, Jolly Pumpkin and Jack's Place. City Bird, thank you.
Okay.
Because they have all the local artists. So they carry like Grandma and they carry Kep jewelry and they carry like all the people. And when I buy jewelry, I want something that nobody else has. And they have stuff that nobody else has. I don't want to wear the same thing. I'm not buying something at Target. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you're a big music fan.
Yes.
Gone to lots of shows. Do you have a favorite song by a Detroit artist?
Oh my God, this is easy. Finally. Okay, so James Link, Mr. James Link, Linck, has a song called The Artist. I love all of his music, but the first time I heard his song called The Artist, it's a song about being an artist and actually like claiming that. And I have never cried so hard in my life.
Oh,
So I highly suggest listening to that.
So you have a fantastic website about Detroit, Hip in Detroit. But when you go to another website about Detroit, what other Detroit website is top of your
I
list?
like Shador Detroit a lot. I like what Candace is doing. I think she does, for me, I love all of her fashion stuff, all of her beauty stuff. I think she kind of captures a different part of Detroit, maybe a little bit more luxurious part of Detroit that I'm jealous and would like to be part of. So I like to look at her stuff, but I like Metro Times. I like all the local papers and stuff. They're great.
where's your favorite place or places to see a concert?
Okay, so I really like St. Andrew's Hall just because of the history. Nirvana played there. It's just a great club. I especially like to be upstairs. They let you buy tickets to be upstairs now, and I know this sounds like an old thing, but if you stand upstairs in the back, all the way in the center, it's the best sound, the best picture, and I love to watch crowds. So I'm just as excited to see a crowd as I am to see the artist. So I love any view where I'm looking at the crowd too. So St. Andrews to me, but L Club is really fun. There's a million places to see a show in the city. The Magic Stick is classic. I mean, great sound system upstairs now, but even if they set a band up downstairs in the Garden Bowl, those can be the best nights ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out to a lot of events in the city way early, like before other people know about
I try to.
What is an up-and-coming event that people should know about?
I've been telling a lot of people about stores lately because retail's been coming back to Detroit. And like if you go to the Fisher and you can go shopping for clothing and things like that, but now there's another place called Coup across the street. So that's kind of the thing I've been trying to turn people on to, because everybody always complains when their small businesses are gone, but then they don't sometimes frequent them. So I've been trying to give the retail in Detroit needs a little boost.
So tell us that store again. So everyone can
Coup
go.
d'etat. It's Coupdetat. I don't think I say it right, but she's amazing.
d'etat.
Coup d'etat.
Coup d'etat.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Right.
and she is
It'll
really...
be that word will be in newspapers all over the place soon. Don't worry about it.
Stop it. She's really fun because she'll help you shop. And I've never gone someplace where somebody will like style me.
Do you have a favorite Detroit charity?
I actually like the empowerment plan a lot. My friend runs all their social media. So I know a lot about the organization. It's just really amazing what they're doing. They're changing people's lives on both ends, giving people jobs, giving people who are homeless something that they can use to sleep in and live in, and, some self-respect and some dignity back. So I love them. I also like the Michigan Humane Society. I used to work with them too, and they're really good people, and they're people who really care.
Oh, I noticed you have a lot of dogs on your Hip in Detroit.
Yes,
account
we
here.
actually have a new partnership, and we are doing once a week a dog that you can, yes, me and Christy are big animal lovers.
Yeah.
Christy is more of an animal lover, and now I'm a vegan. So I've jumped on the boat. I'm trying to do more animal stuff.
Did this come about because she was an animal lover before and you were eating her animals?
No, actually, it came about because somebody named Jessica Hayes, who's a local style influencer person, explained to me that I was eating animals. And I was like, what? It's something that never occurred to me. And once she said that, I was done with it.
Wow.
All right.
Nicely done.
Nicely
Oh,
done.
that's hard.
No reason to be nervous.
Pressure's off now. You survived. Sadie Qualiotto of Hip in Detroit, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
This was
Fantastic.
What I
fantastic.
didn't tell you guys is Christy's the one who remembers all the names, dates, and things. And without her by my side, I'm only on half operation.
Hey, I feel that way about Seth.
She's your partner in the website.
Yes. And she's a Guinness, she's a dictionary of Detroit.
All right, so go to hipindetroit.com, and if people want to follow you on social media, how can they do that?
I'm Sadie Hip in Detroit. So I like Instagram. That's my preferred social media channel.
All right, well, we'll look you up. Hey, don't forget, we've got a website. It is thedebriefdetroit.com. You can find links to everything we talk about on the show, and also you can find all of our episodes there as well. We're going to close out the week with a song. Becky, what do you got?
Yeah, so I also want to remind you something new. If you go to thedmix.com, you will also see a playlist that will keep on growing with all the local music that we play here on The Debrief.
This is a Spotify playlist.
It is a Spotify playlist, yes. So the song I have today is called Luster by Lou Fuki and Divine Providence. They describe themselves, and I think this is very apt, as I've seen them live many times, a Detroit Afro Spirit Jazz Collective. Lou Fuki and Tazina Ayub are a married couple. We've had Tazina on the show. And they wrote this song. I believe it was the first song they wrote together. And it's about how human love and lust is a metaphor for our spirituality. So I hope you enjoy it. They'll be playing the Armageddon Beach Party on Valentine's Day, which I think will be a
I
nice
love that
show.
place. I love that couple.
Me too. Perfect spot for Valentine's Day. So this is called Luster.
All right, we'll check it out. Until next week, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
Luster
as your passions drift closer. My shore is your altar. You want this, don't you? Don't you need this? Lost to you are mine. Trace my lines, I feel your gaze. Accept your liberation. Drink from my spring. Lost to find your salvation. You want this, don't you? Don't you need this? Lost to you are يا مشتاقي أنت لي بتحتاجني أليس كذلك أليس كذلك You want this, don't you? Don't you need this? Lost to you are mine. Lost to you are mine. Lost to you.
The D Brave.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.